Hello, hello, hello. How we all doing today? Man, I'm gonna have to find some public domain music to play along with this, cause just with no music, it just feels a little flat. But I can if I can focus on that for next time, that'll give me something to do later. So today we're burning my least favorite characters from my most favorite video games. I cannot remember who gave me this idea, so if it was your idea, I apologize. I got so many other lists getting thrown at me, it's hard to keep track sometimes. So I'm just gonna, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh. Technical difficulties, please stand by. You started to listen to What's the Quack podcasts. And what is What's the Quack? Oh, it was your idea, Samuel? Oh. Ding. JPG. Okay, my folder with my pictures in it decided it wanted to be problematic. I did not anticipate this, so deepest apologies while I get this nonsense figured out. Okay, the podcast on Spotify by YouTube by the name Sergeant Ducky. Okay. Maybe it's too small. Oh, yeah, probably too small. Okay. Alright, that ought to do it. Chip, 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 chip. For some reason, I don't know why my Little Inferno hates JPGs, but ah, boy, sorry for the technical difficulties, folks. This is the first time this has happened, and of course, has to happen right in front of people to make it look like bad radio. Is it just here, or are you quarantined again? No, I'm not quarantined currently. Although, there's still a lot of various, uh, what's the word I want to use, protocols around, and then schools are still like, some schools are like virtual and others are hybrid, and then, but I don't know, we might be facing new lockdowns because like cases are spiking in like 42 states. Finally, there we go. All right. Let's start off with quite possibly one of my least favorite characters of any game of all time, Arlessa Isolde from Dragon Age Origins. So let's talk about this wench. She is the much younger Orlesian wife of Arl Eamon, who is the Arl of Redcliffe. She is the reason that that Alistair was shipped off to the Templars. Because Alistair was the bastard son of the king. And so Arl Eamon sort of took the boy in, sort of in secret, and started raising him. You know, it wasn't a glamorous life. He slept in like the stalls and stuff. But still, Arl Eamon was taking care of him. But along comes Arl Eamon's new wench and decides that Alistair is too much of a distraction and too much of a problem. So she had him shipped off to the Templars. Fast forward a little bit into the events of the game itself, and she's the reason that so many people in Redcliffe died due to the demon attacks. Because her son Connor started showing signs of being able to use magic. And according to the laws of the land in Ferelden in Dragon Age Origins, any child who starts to show signs of magic needs to be shipped off to the Circle of Magi for proper training, because magic is dangerous and all that. But, you know, Arlessa Isolde, with her privileged self, decides that she doesn't want to send her son away. So she finds an apostate instead, a mage who's outside the circle. Oh, she's a huge Karen, Samuel. Oh, she's like the Karen of video games, as far as I can tell, at least of fantasy realm video games. So she seeks out an apostate to teach Connor how to control his magic so that he can hide it, so that he doesn't have to go off to the Circle of Magi. So who she ends up getting is Jowen, who's actually a blood mage. And Jowen only taught Connor a little bit of things, but eventually a desire demon latched onto Connor because Connor's father, Arl Eamon, was poisoned by Terran Loghain, and Connor's great desire for his father to live and survive was enough for the desire demon to squirrel his way into his head, and in exchange for keeping his father alive, the demon sort of took over Connor and started wreaking havoc on Redcliffe, sending hordes of undead into the city to murder everyone. See? And Arlessa Isolde blamed Jowen for it, but it was really not her fault. The demon came because of Connor's desire to save his father. This is the reason witches are burnt. Yeah, and technically it wasn't even the witch's fault this year, unless you consider her the witch, which I do. And she's going to burn in just a second. We'll get there in a minute. So she blames Jowen for the demon and for the undead attacks when it was really her fault. So, fast forward through the gameplay, getting ahead of you stop the undead attacks, you stop Connor from running amok, and then you go find the Urn of Sacred Ashes to, well, there's two ways you could do it, but you confront the demon in the Fade, to separate Connor from the demon, and then you get the urn of sacred ashes. You get a pinch of ashes from the urn to break the poison on Arl Eamon. So at the end of all that, all this stuff is known to pretty much everybody around. All of this was caused by Arlessa Isolde, and she suffered no consequences for it. None. No consequences. The biggest, most negative thing to happen out of all of it is that Connor ended up getting sent to the Circle of Magi, which is what it should have happened in the first damn place. I hate you, I hate you, I hate you with a holy passion, and I hope that you're in the next Dragon Age game so that I can kill you! I can't stand Arlessa Isolde. Makes you hate her? Yeah, she's easy to hate. She's really easy to hate. I can't stand that woman. She makes a cameo in Dragon Age 2 in the DLC. Mark of the Assassin. She's at some party at some Orlesian noble's estate with Ban Tegan, her brother-in-law. Next character. Oh boy. Okay. Really nothing that, well, this'll do. Yarhar. Alright, so from Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning, from the Legend of Dead Kell DLC, Captain Bradigan. This, Captain Bradigan, who, probably doesn't deserve the title of captain, is the captain of the ship that takes you to, oh, what the heck's that place called? The island that is in Legend of Dead Kell. Can't believe I forgot it that quickly. Well, the ship sinks. Now, it's not entirely her fault, but she's also known for being not that great of a captain. And so it's her, one other dude, and you that survive the shipwreck. And then basically she hangs out in what the heck is that place called? She hangs out in that little village of Akara worshippers. And basically does nothing to help. And like your entire, you have the choice of taking her with you for the final confrontation against Dead Kell, but why would you, given everything else that's happened? And then she starts to like insinuate that you two are like an item, you know, calling you sweetie and making like innuendos. And yeah, I'm not here for that. That might just work. Stand up, Bradigan. Stand up straight for once. There we go. Bradigan. And she acts bratty, too. She lives up to her name. Ugh, she's super annoying. Probably one of the most annoying elves in any game ever. Moving on! Oh, now this one. I won't really have to make any defense of this one. Wish these were just a little faster. Or if this had a fast forward button, that would be great. Alright, let's talk about these two. Delphine and Esburn. The Blades. They're from Skyrim, as many of you know. And they even help you. You know, until you start not doing what they say, and then they decide they don't want to help you anymore. They decide that you have to kill Parthenax, or they're not, or basically they don't help you. Never mind that they decide to take up residence in the temple that was opened with your blood, okay? And their job as Blades is to guide and protect the Dragonborn, not order him around. And, yeah. I never got to play, They released a mod called the Parthenax Dilemma on PC and Xbox 360. But I never got to play it because I owned it for, or not 360, Xbox One. You can't do mods on 360. At least not as far as I'm aware. But I don't have an Xbox One, and I don't own Skyrim on PC, and I can't justify downloading it just for that one mod. So I've never played the Parthenax Dilemma and seen what the game is like. You know, being able to reconcile, you know, the Blade's demands with your desire to not kill Parthenax. Man, I hate these two. So, and they're marked as essential. That's the biggest problem. If you could just straight up kill them, it wouldn't be such an issue. You wouldn't be able to continue the quest line to, like, rebuild the Blades, but who cares? Like, they're not even, I mean, the only thing they're good for is for, like the Radiant Dragon hunting missions. It's not like you can, like, order them to, like, go find you materials and things like that. But, so every once in a while, in the game, I like to come back to, Skyhaven Temple, and just yeet them off the top of the temple with unrelenting force. Oh, can't fight this dragon, can ya? Oh, poor Blades. Ugh. Love Skyrim. Hate the fact that Bethesda didn't give us a better way to reconcile that whole situation with the Blades and Parthenax. Other than, hey, let's kill Parthenax. But then you kill Parthenax and then you're exiled from the Greybeard's temple. So either way, you know, you're going to lose something. Kind of a bummer, but moving on. Oh, man. Okay. There we go. Perfect. And I'll do that too. All right, there we go. So, let's talk about this guy. Dodo the Clown. He's from Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. he appears on a place called Fun Fun Island. And you play a mini game, I think it's called the Dodo Dive, where you have to dive through rings and then land on the wheel as it's spinning, and then you win whatever you land on. But there's also spaces you can land on where you don't get nothing. And when you lose, like if you don't get like the right number of rings, or you land on a bad space and stuff like that, like he blows this little freaking like bugle or trumpet or something, and like, oh, you want to reach through the TV screen and strangle him because he's like making fun of you for losing. And I spent so much time, gave myself close to a heart attack, trying to get this Dodo Dive down to get the heart piece. Because to get the heart piece, you have to do a perfect run. And getting a perfect run is difficult, to say the least. Oh. Well, guess we need another picture. These controls, man. Yeah, Dodo's not getting off that easy. Did anybody else here play Skyward Sword? Haven't played it? Well, if you ever have the opportunity, I highly recommend it. Alright, you like spinning wheels, Dodo? You like bright colors? Ooh, pretty. Ooh, pretty. Ooh, pretty. It kind of reminds me of my son a little bit, too. Every once in a while, if we're in if he's in our bedroom, because, you know, he likes to wander in there and play on the bed. Like, he'll see, we have a fan up on the dresser, and he'll go, turn the fan? Spin the wheel? Okay. But yeah, Skyward Sword's a terrific game. I definitely put it in probably my top 3 Zelda games. As stressful as it can be. Definitely top 5, maybe top 3. But if you have really bad anxiety... Oh, you don't think I ever mentioned I had a son? Well, I know I've mentioned it on stream, maybe just never when you've been around. But yeah, I have 2 sons. One's 3 and one's approaching 5 months. Next one. Oh, excuse me. Let's see. What else do we... Wait. Okay, yeah, we'll put the sword that since it's apropos. But yeah, if you ever have a chance to play Skyward Sword, do it. So let's talk about this character. This is Kiki the monkey from Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past for Super Nintendo. My favorite Zelda game, and in my opinion, the best Zelda game. Pound for pound, pixel for pixel. And so you meet Kiki the monkey in the Dark World, once you get to the Dark World. And you have to go to the, I think it's called the Palace of Darkness when you're in the Dark World. and you have to go through this little forest maze to get there. Well, it's not like really a forest, but it's like a hedge maze where you can only see like a vague shape of your character as you sort of maneuver through these hedges. And when you emerge from the hedges, this monkey is there. And he says, "I'm Kiki the monkey. I'll travel with you for a little while and give me some money." And you're like, okay. But if you don't give him any money, he just leaves. But then you get to the temple and you can't open a door. There's no door. And some players who might have turned Kiki down at first might have like been calling the Nintendo tip line or something like that, because they couldn't figure out how to get the temple open. They're like, "Am I doing something wrong?" And they're like, "Oh no, you have to pay Kiki rupees." Oh, so you pay Kiki rupees to come with you. But then you get to the temple and Kiki says, "Oh, if you want me to open the door, pay me more rupees." An even bigger amount than the first time. And then you're stuck. So if you're broke, like, you have to leave and like grind for rupees until you can afford Kiki to open the door to the temple for you. Quite possibly the first paywall dungeon in a game ever. Now, granted, it's only in-game currency, but still, that's inconvenient. Especially since it's the first dungeon, you know? You just got done fighting Aghanim, and you got thrown into the dark world, and after you watched Zelda get, I don't know, ritualized by Aghanim before fighting him, and broke the seal on the Golden Land, you know, and your heart's pumping, Sahasrara is like, "Hey, you need to, like, free the 7 maidens before you can confront Aghanim again." You know, and it's like, oh, well, you need money to open the door of this temple. And that frustration comes in the form of that little purple monkey. So Kiki the monkey is my least favorite character in The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. I'm Kiki the monkey. Kiki. Next one. Oh, well. All right, so everybody should know this one. Navy! From The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Hey, listen! Some people had nightmares about that. And yes, Navy helps you target and all this good stuff, but throughout the entire game, Navy is a constant distraction. All the time, you're just trying to play the game, and Navy is just in your ear constantly. Hey, listen. And sometimes you don't even want to look at what Navy's looking at, but Navy makes you look that way anyway. And you're like, stop. Oh, come on. These game's controls are very, very touchy. So let's get ourselves another picture of Navy. If nothing else, it'll just give us a chance for the other packages to get here. Hope everybody's enjoying the show. Any opinions on the characters I've burnt so far? Any characters that you would burn if you had the chance? Excuse me. Look, Navy, I found your family. Hey, listen to this sick beat. That was very satisfying. And she was parodied. She was parodied in the Angry Video Game Nerd video game. And because you have a companion called Naggy, the patronizing firefly. Okay. So let's see. This guy's gonna need something special. Oh, I know. The Mirror Master from Witcher 3. I'm not familiar with the Mirror Master. Tell us about him. So let's talk about this jerk face. This is the principal of Motavia Academy. From Phantasy Star 4, The End of the Millennium. Okay? You meet him at the very, very beginning of the game. Okay. The Mirror Master tricks Geralt and gives him an eternal scar. He's from DLC and plays games on you. Wow. I bought this DLC to have my character permanently scarred. Ba-da-da-da-da! I'm loving it. So let's talk about this principal of Motavia Academy. So he calls on the Hunters Guild to come deal with some monster infestation. One of which is pictured there with him, thanks to the comic panel style cutscenes in Phantasy Star 4 that I love so much. So Alice and Chaz come to deal with it. They fight the monsters in the basement, but then at the lowest level of the basement, when they fight the boss monster, they also find like these glass tubes that have like what do you want to call it? Like immature monsters in them. So you go up and confront him about it, and he says, "Oh, well, hey," and Alice has to threaten him to get the truth out of him. So basically he was like, well, we sent a team to Birth Valley, and we brought back some of these, but then Zio appeared and said, hey, stay out of Birth Valley. But he didn't send out a rescue team, and he just sort of let things lie. So, and basically he wanted to sweep it all under the rug by having, by just leaving Professor Holt and his team in Birth Valley to die and rot. Not to mention all the people of Zima who returned to stone along with him. And having Alice and Chaz come deal with the monster problem. And then just act like everything was just going to go away. So, thanks to Han convincing Alice to get involved, they go to Birth Valley. They find Professor Holt and his team, and the people of Zima all turn to stone. You know, long story short, they make the journey to get Alshleen, that special magical substance to break the petrification. Professor Holt explores Birth Valley even further. He finds Rika and Seed and ruins of an ancient civilization. Then eventually, he goes back to the academy after they take Rika out and Seed self-destructs. And despite everything that happened, the principal of Motavi Academy would not get involved any further. He wouldn't commit any resources to helping any of the efforts, wouldn't help the people of Zima, deal with the aftermath, nothing. And if you, once Han leaves the party, you can go back to Motavi Academy, and he's in the principal's office with Professor Holt. And Han even has dialogue that says, sorry guys, these people are hard-headed and stuck in their ways, and yeah, the principal's like my least favorite character from this entire game. He was a douchebagette from start to finish. So we're going to haunt him with monsters. Ooh, and how about you? You like a little petrification there, Professor? Mr. Principal? How you like that? Alright. Which explosive do I want to use for this? Oh. Well, let's see if I can detonate the barrel. It's a powder keg. There we go. The colors, Duke. The colors! That slow-mo. I know, I should turn it down to like 10 frames a second, right? Alright, moving on. That makes sense. That makes sense. So, let's talk about this guy. Reaver from Fable 2. Now, I'll start off by saying that some people actually like Reaver as a character. Due probably in part to the fact that he's voiced by Stephen Fry, a well-known British personality. But once you really understand what Reaver's about, I mean, he's a scumbag. You meet him in Fable 2 in the town of Bloodstone, because he's the hero of skill that you're supposed to seek out. So the first thing that he does, when you meet him, he's having a sculpture done of him. He's posing. So he tells you that he needs a task before he'll help you, because, I'm not going to just help you because you showed up. So he has you take this sort of like evil-looking thorny symbol to the Court of Shadows, and find out after the fact that it's basically how Reaver maintains his youthful appearance. So you're there with this young girl in the Court of Shadows, and you have the opportunity to either hold on to this evil disc or shove it off on the girl. And then whoever's holding it when the timer's done, the Court of Shadows takes their youth. So if you're playing like a selfless hero, you basically gotta have yourself artificially aged. Thanks to Reaver. And then Teresa tells you when you're wandering through the ruins of Oakvale that the village was destroyed by a youth who made a terrible deal. And it's strongly suggested that it was Reaver who was responsible for the ultimate destruction of Oakvale, even after the hero in the first Fable game saved Oakvale. And the fun doesn't stop there. Once you get back... Oh, I forgot to mention. When you leave his mansion with the disc the first time, if you stick around for just a second, he says to the sculptor, "Are you really suggesting that my cheeks are that fat or something to that extent?" And shoots the sculptor. Cool guy, huh? So you get back with the disc. You find out that, hey, I heard you escaped from the Tattered Spire, and I thought that Lucian would be willing to part with a substantial amount of gold if you were to be returned to him, and I was right. So you figured out that while you were gone, he made a deal with Lucian to turn you in. Lucian's the big antagonist in the whole game, by the way. And then a guy you've known throughout the game, what was his name? Well, anyway, he's a guy who he has a camera, and cameras are like very, very new technology in this game. It's like he has the only one. And he refers to like the film as magic paper and stuff like this. So he takes a picture of Reaver, and then he tells Reaver that it's going to take 3 months for the magic paper to develop. And Reaver's like, 3 months? That's no good. And he shoots the poor guy. Reaver's a total scumbag. So, even after, okay, so he reveals the fact that he's turning you into Lucian, but then Lucian attacks his town. And so he decides, okay, I guess we need to escape. So the two of you have to escape together. This guy that just tried to sell you out and basically sold you out to the Court of Shadows as well. So you escape together. And then even at the climax of the game, he's still like telling Lucian, hey, the deal is still on. You can have these guys. And, you can have them for free. And, Hammer yells at him to shut up. And then to top it all off, once you get to like the final encounter of the game, you break Lucian's hold on the 3 other heroes that are there inside the Tattered Spire. And you listen to him talk. And he goes on this little spiel about how he wants to build a better world and blah, blah, blah. And if you let him talk long enough, like what you're supposed to do is swing and knock him down the giant chasm in the middle of the Tattered Spire and kill him. But if you let him talk long enough, Reaver will regain his composure and shoot him instead. So Reaver will actually rob you of your big moment if you wait too long. So, Mr. Reaver, the ship captain. And the picture, because of our poor guy who takes pictures. And the terrible secret. Or the Kieran. Hello, Kieran. When's Sega Saturn video coming out? Probably tomorrow. Acid rain. Melt. All right, moving on. Okay. Sure. Oh yeah, gotta have those. Sure, why not? So let's talk about this guy. This is the ferryman from Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Now, he's not a major character in any respect. In fact, he only appears in the underground caverns and takes you from like one end to the other. Now, in Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest, you need him to cross certain bodies of water. I never played the whole game, so I don't remember their names. But in Symphony of the Night, he just seems sort of shoehorned in there. Like, there's no really good reason for him to be there. He's just more of an Easter egg. Because you can, once you have, like, all the power-ups necessary in the game, you can just, like, you can go through that whole area without even needing to get on the ferry. And then even when you do, he has a really annoying, screechy voice. He's like, I'll take you to a place that might be interesting for you. And he's completely unnecessary. So let's say goodbye to the ferryman. All right. I believe we're up to the last one. Oh, yeah, this guy. Ugh. Well. Ooh, that's a good idea. There we go. That'll do. So, this guy is called, Typhoon, Typhon, Chupon. He goes by a few different names and a few different pronunciations, but he's from Final Fantasy VI. He first appears in a battle with Ultros, who's like this gigantic octopus character. But then later in the game, he appears in the Colosseum once you get to the World of Ruin. And if you bet any like normal items in the game, he's the opponent you fight, because your opponent differs based on what you bet. But most of the time, you bet a regular common item and it's him. Now, here's the problem. Every time if you don't beat him in one turn or find a way to like stun him or otherwise make it so that he can't take a turn or kill him in one turn, he uses this attack called Sneeze and blows you off the screen and basically ends the encounter. And so whatever you bet got wasted. Completely wasted. You didn't even get a fair shot. So, that's annoying. And then he makes appearances in later games. He's actually a summon in Final Fantasy VII. Actually, let's do it this way. Because I think our heart fan will catch the flames. There we go. Yeah, how you like that? Uh-oh. But. Oh, okay. Look at that. Anybody want calamari? Beautiful. That's just gorgeous. Well, that's this list done and dusted. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to take a short break, get a little something to eat. I was intending to come back with a little more Phantasy Star 3, but I'll put it to you guys. What would you rather see, Phantasy Star 3 or more Genshin Impact? Try to get my community involved. Oh, and don't forget to join the Discord if that interests you. I made a Discord. Samuel wants to see Genshin Impact. Okay. Rolos are amazing. And I'll put the Discord link in case anyone's interested. And, okay. So that's it for this. Short break. Gonna get a little something to eat, like I said. Gonna come back with Genshin Impact. So let's see. It's about 10 of 3 where I am now. So let's shoot for between 3:30 and 4, something like that. So a little less than an hour. Give me time to eat. So, if you were watching live, or if you're watching this on a replay, thanks for hanging out and watching me burn my least favorite characters from my most favorite games. Thanks to Samuel, aka Retired Pootis Bird, for the idea. And for the rest of you, stay safe out there.